Hey guys, hope you're all doing good. Petrol leaking is a common problem in the small scooters. There might be a number of reasons for that, and I have been observing that even my Jupiter is leaking petrol. The moment I fill the tank, it gets empty within no time. I thought I will have to look at it. So today's episode is to fix the petrol leaking problem in my Jupiter. I hope I get it right. Okay, now that my scooter is leaking, where do we start? First of all, first and foremost thing is that we need to physically observe the symptoms. Okay, so is the petrol leaking all the time, or when I do a specific action is it leaking? So we need to first observe that. So in my particular case, I observed that whenever I accelerate my Jupiter, the petrol is getting leaked, and when it is neutral, when it is just idling, nothing is happening. When I accelerate and go forward, it is getting leaked. So that's one of the observation which I had. Now let us go back to the theory. Okay, so we all might have heard about something known as a carburetor, and I am coming with another video which gives the what do you call the working principle of a carburetor and all the mechanism involved in it. So I'll not be very detailed in this about carburetor in this video. So now we have the fuel line coming in, we have the air line coming in. So both the fuel and the air line will get mixed homogeneously, means uniformly, and that mixture is given to the engine. So that's like a basic overview of what a carburetor does. There are so many other things involved, but we are not much interested in that now. So the fuel line and the air get mixed homogeneously, and that mixture is given to the engine. Okay, so in my case, if the petrol was leaking all the time, I might have thought that there might be some issue with the fuel tank or something. But here, only when I accelerate the engine, it is giving. So when it comes to the fuel line, when it comes to the carburetor, there is something goofy going on there. Maybe the fuel line is bad, or the float might have gone wrong, or whatever. There are so many things. So first thing to start with, we need to go and check the carburetor, or maybe if needed, we have to take that.
For that first step, we need to open this screw, and then this bolt, followed by this bolt, and these both as well. I don't think there is a need to open these things. Okay, let's open that. So we have this battery, so we need to be a bit careful in handling that.
Okay, so this is the place where we get the air input to the carburetor. So it is a filtered air coming in, and we need to first remove that line. Followed by that, we need to remove this accelerator cable and the choke cable. Then this is the engine intake manifold. So this is the place where we get air fuel mixture to the engine. So we need to remove those both screws. So those two screws, and then if you are observing it carefully, after that, then these two choke and the accelerator cable, then the air input air line, that we need to take that out, and of course followed by that overflow tube and the fuel input tube. We need to remove those both to completely take out the carburetor. Okay, finally I managed to take out the carburetor with all the pipes in place. the one which you see with the springs around is the fuel line. Okay, and both the remaining pipes are kind of overflow pipes. So a physical observation around revealed one interesting fact. So look at it. So there is a crack in the fuel line. Okay, and this is which is causing the problem. So if you see that the fuel line has got a pretty good crack in it, and the interesting fact is that only when I accelerate is the fuel sucked from the fuel chamber to the carburetor. It is an automatic valve, and when I open it and we accelerate it, the fuel will be coming in, and this is when it gets leaked. Okay, so I got a fresh new pipe of the same length. This costed me around 10 rupees, and now I'm going to fix it back to the carburetor. And here it is, my newly freshly cleaned carburetor with that fixed fuel line, and I also inserted the spring back in place to the fuel line. And after this I'm going to fix the carburetor back. So I'm done fixing back the carburetor. Then after I fix it back, then I have to attach the fuel line back to the fuel chamber, and this is how we do it. And after this is done, then it is time for us to inspect all the things once. Check if the fuel line is real tight, check for the other overflow lines, that's correct, and those are real tight. Then check for the accelerator cable and the choke cable, followed by the air intake manifold to the engine, then the air input to the carburetor. Is that screw real tight? Yes. And after checking everything, now I'm pretty confident that this would solve the issue, and I hope you liked it. That's it, guys. We identified the problem spot on, and obviously after I changed the fuel line, there is no more leakages. So time to time, maybe it is better we keep checking those things so as to maintain the health of the engine. Thank you very much, and see you soon in some other video. Bye. Have a good one, everybody.